Majority Leader.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that notwithstanding Rule 22, the Senate vote on the cloture motion with respect to the motion to proceed to S-4668 at a time to be determined by the Majority Leader in consultation with the Democratic Leader no earlier than September 15th and no later than September the 23rd.
Is there objection? Without objection.
Mr. President, I also ask unanimous consent that all pending amendments and motions be withdrawn and the only amendments remaining in order be the following to be offered by the sponsor or their designee and with 2 minutes of debate equally divided prior to each vote. Collins number 6732, Collins number 6750, and Budd number 6747. Further, upon the use or yielding back of that time, the Senate vote in relation to the Budd amendment, if offered, and upon disposition of the amendment, the Collins amendment 6732 is amended, if amended, be agreed to. The bill is amended, be read a third time, and the Senate vote on passage of the bill is amended, with 60 affirmative votes required for passage. Finally, if passed, the Collins amendment to the title, number 6750, be agreed to, the title is amended, be agreed to, and the motions to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table with no intervening action or debate. Further, that following disposition of H.R. 6500, the cloture motion with respect to the Blanche nomination ripen, and if cloture is invoked, all time be expired, and the Senate vote on confirmation of the nomination, and if confirmed, the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table, and the President be immediately notified of the Senate's action. And that the Senate resume legislative session, provided that it then be in order for the Senator from Ohio, Mr. Husted, or his designee, to move to proceed to S-5271 and to present a motion to invoke cloture on the motion to proceed, and the motion ripen immediately, and the Senate vote on the motion to invoke cloture without intervening action or debate, provided that if the cloture motion is agreed to, the motion to proceed be agreed to, and that there be up to 2 hours of debate on the bill with no amendments or motions in order, and that upon the use or yielding back of that time, the bill would be read a third time, and the Senate vote on the bill with the 60 affirmative vote threshold required for passage. Further, if cloture on the motion to proceed is not agreed to, it then be in order for the Majority Leader to make a motion for the Senate to adjourn pursuant to this order, and if the Senate has agreed to a motion to adjourn pursuant to this order, when the Senate completes its business on Saturday, August the 8th, following the recognition of the Majority Leader to dispense with wrap-up items, the Senate convene for pro forma sessions only with no business conducted on the following dates and times. August the 10th at 10 a.m., August the 13th at 8 a.m., August the 17th at 1:30 p.m., August 20th at 11:30 a.m., August 24th at 12:30 p.m., August 27th at 8 a.m., August 31st, 11:30 a.m., September the 1st at 12:30, September the 4th at 10 o'clock a.m., September the 8th at 1:15 p.m., and September the 10th at 3 p.m.
Is there objection? Without objection.
Mr. President, I suggest the absence of quorum.
Clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Alston-Brooks.
I recognize the senator from North Carolina.
Mr. President, I ask to officiate the quorum call.
Without objection. Under the previous order, all pending amendments and motions are withdrawn with the exception of amendment number 6732.
Mr. President, I call up my amendment 6747 and ask that it be reported by number.
The clerk will report.
Senator from North Carolina, Mr. Budd, proposes an amendment numbered 6747 to amendment numbered 6732.
There are now 2 minutes of debate, equally divided.
Mr. President, go.
As the senator from North Carolina.
Yeah, Mr. President, 9 months ago, both Republicans and Democrats, they overwhelmingly voted to close the hemp loophole. It happened right here. They wanted to stop intoxicating hemp products from being sold and marketed to kids. It's no accident that these products are made to look exactly like something that a kid would want. Emergency departments have seen a 461% increase in cases of pediatric cannabis poisoning, and most of those were children 4 years old or younger. Now, this body agreed right here 9 months ago that we wouldn't compromise the health and safety of the American people, especially our kids. So today I'm simply asking my colleagues just to reaffirm a decision we made 9 months ago right here. My opponents have asked, what's the harm in a month-long delay? So I'm going to tell you. The goal is not an extra month to work on policy, as many have said. The well-oiled hemp lobbying machine, it's already had 9 months to do that. The real goal is to jam us in December on a must-pass package and to permanently entrench their intoxicating products into the machinery of government. Opponents say that this would stop research into hemp-derived products for seniors, veterans, and people with disabilities who rely on Medicare. But what does allowing an unregulated intoxicating edibles on gas station shelves have to do with CMS' ability to study hemp-derived products for pain relief? Not a thing. Not a thing at all. So once again, I ask my colleagues to join me in doing what we've already done 9 months ago. Support my amendment. Just vote no to table this and close this dangerous loophole, just as 76 of us, Republicans and Democrats, did just 9 months ago.
I recognize the senator from Minnesota.
Mr. President, I rise this evening on behalf of myself and Senator Sheehy and several others, Democrats and Republicans. I represent farmers, small businesses, brewers, and consumers in my state, and I urge my colleagues to table Senator Budd's amendment and give this body 4 more weeks to work towards legislation that supports a thriving hemp industry, ensures proper regulation, and protect kids from dangerous products. As is, the bipartisan continuing resolution that is before us delays a ban on naturally produced hemp products for 4 weeks while taking synthetic hemp derivatives off the market, and that is important to note. That is included in this continuing resolution. The original ban, the broad ban, the entire ban, and I note in my state we have safety rules in place that have worked very well. The product is taxed. We have not had issues with it since we put those rules in place. The original ban was tucked into a bill to reopen the government last November. Many members didn't have the chance to learn about it. There had been no hearings. Now they learn more. Bills have been introduced in the Senate and the House, bipartisan bills, to regulate this market. And back then, that ban moved forward without input from the people who would be impacted. In my state alone, hemp products brought in $16 million of state tax revenue in 2025. Senator Budd has raised concerns about certain hemp products, and I agree with him. That's why bad actors that sell synthetic products will not be allowed to sell them in this continuing resolution. I urge my colleagues to join me in voting to table this amendment and maintaining the bipartisan agreement included in the continuing resolution. I move to table amendment number 6747, and I ask for the yeas and nays.
Is there sufficient second?
Time?
There is no remaining time. There appears to be. The clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Also Brooks, Mr. Armstrong, Ms. Baldwin, Mr. Banks, Mr. Barrasso, Mr. Bennett, Mrs. Blackburn, Mr. Blumenthal, Ms. Blunt Rochester, Mr. Booker, Mr. Bozeman, Mrs. Britt, Mr. Budd, Ms. Ms. Cantwell, Mrs. Capito, Mr. Cassidy, Ms. Collins, Mr. Coons, Mr. Cornyn, Ms. Cortez Masto, Mr. Cotton, Mr. Kramer, Mr. Crapo, Mr. Cruz, Mr. Curtis, Mr. Daines, Mr. Durbin, Ms. Ernst, Mr. Fetterman, Mrs. Fisher, Mr. Gallego, Mrs. Gillibrand, Ms. Graham, Mr. Grassley, Mr. Haggerty, Ms. Hassan, Mr. Hawley, Mr. Heinrich, Mr. Hickenlooper, Ms. Hirono, Mr. Hoven, Mr. Husted, Mrs. Hyde-Smith, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Justice, Mr. Kane, Mr. Kelly, Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Kim, Mr. King, Ms. Klobuchar, Mr. Langford, Mr. Lee, Mr. Lujan, Ms. Lummis, Mr. Markey, Mr. Marshall, Mr. McConnell, Mr. McCormick, Mr. Merkley, Mrs. Moody, Mr. Moran. Mr. Moreno, Ms. Murkowski, Mr. Murphy, Mrs. Murray, Mr. Ossoff, Mr. Padilla, Mr. Paul, Mr. Peters, Mr. Reed, Mr. Ricketts, Mr. Risch, Ms. Rosen, Mr. Rounds, Mr. Sanders, Mr. Schatz, Mr. Schiff, Mr. Schmidt, Mr. Schumer, Mr. Scott of Florida, Mr. Scott of South Carolina, Mrs. Shaheen, Mr. Sheehy, Ms. Slotkin, Ms. Smith, Mr. Sullivan, Mr. Thune, Mr. Tillis, Mr. Tuberville, Mr. Van Hollen, Mr. Warner, Mr. Warnock, Ms. Warren, Mr. Welch, Mr. Whitehouse, Mr. Wicker, Mr. Wyden, Mr. Young. Senators voting in the affirmative: Cantwell, Hickenlooper, Husted, Kane, Klobuchar, Lee, Marshall, McCormick, Schatz, Shaheen. Senators voting in the negative: Armstrong, Budd, Collins, Cornyn, Durbin, Ernst, Hawley, Lummis, Murkowski, Padilla, Rounds. Mr. Reed, aye. Mr. Bennett, aye. Mr. Banks, no. Mr. Welch, aye. Ms. Graham, aye. Ms. Baldwin, aye. Mrs. Murray, aye. Mr. Tuberville, aye. Mr. Moran, no. Mrs. Moody, aye. Mr. Whitehouse, aye. Mrs. Fisher, no. Mrs. Hyde Smith, no. Mrs. Hyde Smith, aye. Mrs. Capito, no. Mr. Risch, aye. Mr. Ricketts, no. Mrs. Blackburn, no. Miss Duckworth, aye. Ms. Warren, aye. Mr. Gallego, aye. Mr. Murphy, aye. Mr. Peters, aye. Ms. Hassan, no. Mr. Lujan, aye. Ms. Smith, aye. Mrs. Brett, no. Mr. Wyden, aye. Mr. Ossoff, aye. Mr. Coons, aye. Mr. Kelly, aye. Mr. Sullivan, aye. Mr. Hoven, aye. Mr. Merkley, no. Mr. Sanders, aye. Mr. Heinrich, no. Ms. Cortez Masto, no. Ms. Also Brooks, aye. Ms. Blunt Rochester, no. Ms. Rosen, no. Mr. Young, no. Mr. Warner, aye. Mr. Schiff, no. Mr. Wicker, aye. Ms. Slotkin, no. Mr. Justice, aye. Mr. Crapo, aye. Mr. Markey, aye. Ms. Slotkin, aye. Mr. Schmidt, aye. Mr. Cruz, aye. Mr. Paul, aye. Mr. Daines, aye. Mr. Cassidy, no. Mr. Grassley, Mr. Grassley. No. Mr. Booker, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Curtis, aye. Mr. Scott of South Carolina, aye. Mr. Moreno, aye. Mr. Warnock, aye. Mr. Thune, aye. Mr. Van Hollen, Mr. Van Hollen, aye. Mr. Schumer, aye. Mrs. Gillibrand, aye. Mrs. Gillibrand, no. Mr. Barrasso, aye. Mr. Kim, aye. Mr. Betterman, aye. Mr. Blumenthal, aye. Mr. Haggerty, no. Mr. Kennedy, no.
On this vote, the yeas are 61, the nays are 32, and the motion is agreed to. On the previous order, Amendment 6732 is agreed to, and the clerk will read the title of the bill a third time.
Calendar number 320, H.R. 6500, an act to extend duty-free treatment provided with respect to imports from certain countries in Africa and so forth and for other purposes.
Mr. President,
Chair recognizes the senator from Maine.
Mr. President,
Order.
I urge my colleagues to pass the continuing resolution in order to prevent a government shutdown, and I yield back all time.
The question is on the passage of the bill as amended. Is there a sufficient second? There appears to be. The clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Ossobrooks, Mr. Armstrong, Ms. Baldwin, Mr. Banks, Mr. Barrasso, Mr. Bennett, Mrs. Blackburn, Mr. Blumenthal, Ms. Blunt Rochester, Mr. Booker, Mr. Bozeman, Mr. Haggerty, Mrs. Britt, Grassley, hold on 1 second, please. Grassley, Cassidy, okay. I got it, I did. Ernst. Bud. Mr. Budd. Rick Scott, yeah. Thanks. Good. Ms. Cantwell. Mrs. Capito. Thank you. Mr. Cassidy. Ms. Collins. Mr. Coons. Thanks. White House, Kane. Thanks. Mr. Brasso. Thanks. Hoven. Henry. Mr. Cornyn, Ms. Cortez Masto. Thank you. Mr. Cotton. Mr. Kramer, Mr. Crapo. Mr. Cruz. Mr. Curtis, Mr. Daines, Ms. Duckworth. Mr. Durbin. Ms. Ernst. Yeah. All right. Mr. Fetterman. Mrs. Fisher. Mr. Gallego. Mrs. Gillibrand. Ms. Graham. Mr. Grassley. Thank you. Mr. Haggerty, Ms. Hassan. Mr. Hawley. Mr. Heinrich, Mr. Hickenlooper, Ms. Hirono. Mr. Hoven, Mr. Husted, Mrs. Hyde-Smith, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Justice, Mr. Kane, Mr. Kelly, Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Kim, Mr. King, Ms. Klobuchar, Mr. Langford, Mr. Lee, Mr. Lujan, Ms. Lummis, Mr. Markey, Mr. Marshall, Mr. McConnell, Mr. McCormick, Mr. Merkley, Mrs. Moody, Mr. Moran, thank you. I do, thank you. Mr. Marino, Ms. Murkowski, Mr. Murphy, Mrs. Murray, Mr. Ossoff, Mr. Padilla, Mr. Paul, Mr. Peters, Mr. Reed, Mr. Ricketts, Mr. Risch, Ms. Rosen, Mr. Rounds, Mr. Sanders, Mr. Schatz, Mr. Schiff, Mr. Schmidt, Mr. Schmidt, Mr. Schumer, Mr. Scott of Florida, Mr. Scott of South Carolina, Mrs. Shaheen, Mr. Sheehy, Ms. Slotkin, Ms. Smith, Mr. Sullivan, Mr. Thune, Mr. Tillis, Mr. Tuberville, Mr. Van Hollen, Mr. Warner, Mr. Warnock, Ms. Warren, Mr. Welch, Mr. Whitehouse, Mr. Wicker, Mr. Wyden, Mr. Young. Senators voting in the affirmative: Armstrong, Baldwin, Barrasso, Bennett, Blackburn, Blumenthal, Blunt Rochester, Booker, Britt, Budd, Cantwell, Capito, Collins, Coons, Cornyn, Cortez Masto, Kramer, Crapo, Cruz, Curtis, Daines, Duckworth, Durbin, Ernst, Fetterman, Fisher, Gallego, Grassley, Haggerty, Hassan, Heinrich, Hickenlooper, Hoven, Husted, Johnson, Kelly, Kennedy, Kim, Klobuchar, Lee, Lujan, Lummis, Marshall, McCormick, Merkley, Moody, Moran, Marino, Murray, Ossoff, Padilla, Peters, Reed, Ricketts, Risch, Rosen, Rounds, Schatz, Schiff, Schmidt, Schumer, Scott of Florida, Shaheen, Sheehy, Slotkin, Smith, Sullivan, Tuberville, Warner, Warnock, Welch, Whitehouse, Wicker, Wyden, and Young. Mrs. Hyde-Smith, aye. Mr. Cotton, aye. Mr. King, aye. Mrs. Gillibrand, aye. Senators voting in the negative: Cassidy, Kane, Markey, Paul, Sanders, and Warren. Mr. Thune, aye. Mr. Murphy, aye. Ms. Hirono, aye. Mr. Justice, aye. Mr. Scott of South Carolina, aye. Mr. Banks, Aye. Ms. Murkowski? Aye. Mr. Hawley, aye. What are you looking for? Ms. Alsobrooks, aye. Yeah. Mr. Bozeman, aye. Mr. Van Hollen? Aye.
On this vote, the yeas are 90, the nays are 6. The 60-vote threshold having been achieved, the bill is passed. One senator responded present. Under the previous order, the Collins Amendment, number 6750, to the title is agreed to. The title as amended is agreed to, and the motions to reconsider are considered made and laid upon the table.
President,
Majority Leader.
Madam President, I ask unanimous consent to waive the mandatory quorum calls with respect to the Blanche nomination and the cloture motion on the motion to proceed to S5271.
Without objection. The clerk will report the motion to invoke cloture.
Cloture motion. We, the undersigned senators, in accordance with the provisions of Rule 22 of the Standing Rules of the Senate, do hereby move to bring to a close debate on the nomination of Todd Blanche of Florida to be Attorney General, signed by 17 senators.
Order in the chamber, please. Under the previous order, the mandatory quorum call under Rule 22 has been waived. The question is it the sense of the Senate that debate on the nomination of Todd Blanche of Florida to be Attorney General shall be brought to a close? The yeas and nays are mandatory under the rule. The clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Elsa Brooks, Mr. Armstrong, Ms. Baldwin, Mr. Banks, Mr. Brasso, Mr. Bennett, Mrs. Blackburn, Mr. Blumenthal,
No, I lied. There's two more. Yes, she can come up with it. But let me finish this. She just has to, I have to finish this. He hasn't filed cloture yet. So that's not going to happen until after your vote, so don't worry about it.
Ms. Blunt Rochester,
But that goes with, that's separate. So those are things that are going to get done. I just want to finish this bill.
Mr. Booker, Mr. Bozeman, Mrs. Britt, Mr. Budd, Ms. Cantwell, Mr. Cassidy, Ms. Collins, Mr. Coons, Mr. Cornyn, Ms. Cortez Masto, Mr. Cotton, Mr. Kramer, Mr. Crapo, Mr. Cruz, Mr. Curtis, Mr. Daines, got your second. Ms. Duckworth, Mr. Durbin, Ms. Ernst, Mr. Fetterman, Mrs. Fisher, Mr. Gallego, Mrs. Gillibrand, Mr. Graham, Ms. Graham, Mr. Grassley, Mr. Haggerty, Ms. Hassan, Mr. Hawley, Mr. Heinrich, Mr. Hickenlooper, Ms. Hirono, Mr. Hoven, Mr. Husted, Mrs. Hyde-Smith, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Justice, Mr. Kane, Mr. Kelly, Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Kim, Mr. King, Ms. Klobuchar, Mr. Langford, Mr. Lee, Mr. Lujan, Ms. Lummis, Mr. Markey, Mr. Marshall, Mr. McConnell, Mr. McCormick, Mr. Merkley, Mrs. Moody, Mr. Moran, Mr. Moreno, Ms. Murkowski, Mr. Murphy, Mrs. Murray, Mr. Ossoff, Mr. Padilla, Mr. Paul, Mr. Peters, Mr. Reed, Mr. Ricketts, Mr. Risch, Ms. Rosen, Mr. Rounds, Mr. Sanders, Mr. Schatz, Mr. Schiff, Mr. Schmidt, Mr. Schumer, Mr. Scott of Florida, Mr. Scott of South Carolina, Mr. Shaheen, Mr. Sheehy, Ms. Slotkin, Ms. Smith, Mr. Sullivan, Mr. Thune, Mr. Tillis, Mr. Tuberville, Mr. Van Hollen, Mr. Warner, Mr. Warnock, Ms. Warren, Mr. Welch, Mr. Whitehouse, Mr. Wicker, Mr. Wyden, Mr. Young. Senators voting in the affirmative: Armstrong, Barrasso, Blackburn, Bozeman, Britt, Capito, Cornyn, Cotton, Kramer, Curtis, Daines, Ernst, Fisher, Graham, Grassley, Haggerty, Hawley, Husted, Hyde-Smith, Johnson, Justice, Kennedy, Lee, Lummis, Marshall, McCormick, Moody, Moreno, Paul, Risch, Rounds, Scott of Florida, Sullivan, Thune, Tillis, Tuberville, Wicker, and Young. Senators voting in the negative: also Brooks, Baldwin, Bennett, Blumenthal, Blunt Rochester, Cantwell, Collins, Duckworth, Durbin, Fetterman, Gallego, Hassan, Heinrich, Hickenlooper, Kane, Kelly, Kim, King, Lujan, Merkley, Murkowski, Murphy, Murray, Ossoff, Padilla, Peters, Reed, Rosen, Sanders, Schatz, Schiff, Shaheen, Slotkin, Smith, Van Hollen, Warner, Warren, Welch, Whitehouse, and Wyden. Ms. Klobuchar. Ms. Klobuchar, no. Mr. Cruz. Mr. Cruz, aye. Mr. Banks. Mr. Banks, aye. Mr. Markey. Mr. Markey, no. Mr. Warnock. Mr. Warnock, no. Mr. Langford. Mr. Langford, aye. Mr. Schumer. Mr. Schumer, no. Mr. Booker. Mr. Booker, no. Mr. Cassidy. Mr. Cassidy, aye. Mr. Sheehy. Mr. Sheehy, aye. Mr. Moran. Mr. Moran, aye. Mr. Hoven. Mr. Hoven, aye. Ms. Hirono. Ms. Hirono, no. Mr. Budd. Mr. Budd, aye. Mrs. Gillibrand. Mrs. Gillibrand, no. Mr. Ricketts. Mr. Ricketts, aye. Mr. Schmidt. Mr. Schmidt, aye. Mr. Scott of South Carolina, aye. Ms. Cortez Masto. Ms. Cortez Masto, no. Mr. Crapo, aye. Mr. Coons, no.
The ayes are 50, the nays are 49. The motion is agreed to. The clerk will report the nomination.
Nomination, Department of Justice, Todd Blanche of Florida to be Attorney General.
The question occurs on the nomination. Is there a sufficient second? There appears to be. The clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Alsobrooks, Mr. Armstrong. Mrs. Baldwin. Mr. Banks, Mr. Barrasso, Mr. Bennett, Mrs. Blackburn,
Oh, you know that's a good idea.
Mr. Blumenthal,
You and the
Ms. Blunt Rochester,
arrange that. Okay, hold on one second.
Mr. Booker, Mr. Bozeman, Mrs. Britt, Mr. Budd, Ms. Cantwell, Mrs. Capito, Mr. Cassidy, Ms. Collins,
No, I'll give McCormick. McCormick needs
Mr.
every hour he
Coons,
gets. Can you?
Mr. Cornyn, Ms. Cortez Masto, Mr. Cotton, Mr. Kramer, Mr. Crapo, Mr. Cruz, Mr. Daines, Ms. Duckworth, Mr. Durbin, Ms. Ernst, Mr. Fetterman, Mrs. Fisher, Mr. Gallego, Mrs. Gillibrand, Mr. Graham, Ms. Graham, Mr. Grassley, Mr. Haggerty, Ms. Hassan, Mr. Hawley, Mr. Heinrich, Mr. Hickenlooper, Ms. Hirono, Mr. Hoven, Mr. Husted, Mrs. Hyde-Smith, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Justice, Mr. Kane, Mr. Kennedy, or Mr. Kelly, Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Kim, Mr. King, Ms. Klobuchar, Mr. Langford, Mr. Lee, Mr. Lujan, Ms. Lummis, Mr. Markey, Mr. Marshall, Mr. McConnell, Mr. McCormick, Mr. McCormick, Mr. Merkley, Mrs. Moody, Mr. Moran, Mr. Marino, Ms. Murkowski, Mr. Murphy, Mrs. Murray, Mr. Ossoff, Mr. Badia, Mr. Paul, Mr. Peters, Mr. Reed, Mr. Reed, Mr. Ricketts, Mr. Risch, Ms. Rosen, Mr. Rounds, Mr. Sanders. Mr. Schatz, Mr. Schiff, Mr. Schmidt, Mr. Schumer, Mr. Scott of Florida, Mr. Scott of South Carolina, Mrs. Shaheen, Mr. Sheehy, Ms. Slotkin, Ms. Smith, Mr. Sullivan, Mr. Thune, Mr. Tillis, Mr. Tuberville, Mr. Van Hollen, Mr. Warner, Mr. Warnock, Ms. Warren, Mr. Welch, Mr. Whitehouse, Mr. Wicker, Mr. Wyden, Mr. Young. Senators voting in the affirmative: Armstrong, Banks, Barrasso, Blackburn, Bozeman, Britt, Capito, Cassidy, Cornyn, Cotton, Kramer, Crapo, Curtis, Daines, Ernst, Fisher, Graham, Grassley, Haggerty, Hawley, Husted, Hyde-Smith, Johnson, Justice, Kennedy, Langford, Lee, Lummis, Marshall, McCormick, Moody, Moran, Marino, Paul, Ricketts, Risch, Rounds, Schmidt, Scott of Florida, Scott of South Carolina, Sullivan, Thune, and Tuberville. Mr. Wicker, aye. No. Senators voting in the negative: Alsobrooks, Baldwin, Bennett, Blumenthal, Blunt Rochester, Collins, Coons, Cortez Masto, Duckworth, Fetterman, Gallego, Hassan, Heinrich, Hickenlooper, Kane, Kelly, Kim, King, Klobuchar, Lujan, Merkley, Murray, Ossoff, Padilla, Peters, Reed, Rosen, Schatz, Schiff, Shaheen, Slotkin, Smith, Warner, Warren, Welch, Whitehouse, and Wyden. Mr. Sheehy, aye. Mr. Durbin, no. Mr. Cruz, aye. Mr. Hoven, aye. Ms. Murkowski, no. Mr. Budd, aye. I'm sorry. Mr. Tillis, aye. Mrs. Gillibrand, no. Ms. Cantwell, no. Mr. Young, aye. Mr. Van Hollen, no. Ms. Hirono, no. Mr. Schatz, Mr. Sanders, no. Mr. Murphy, no. Mr. Schumer. Mr. Schumer, no. Mr. Markey. Mr. Markey, no. Mr. Booker. Mr. Booker, no. Mr. Warnock. Mr. Warnock, no.
On this vote, the yeas are 50, the nays are 49. The nomination is confirmed.
Under the previous order, the motion to reconsider is considered made and laid upon the table, and the President will be immediately notified of the Senate's action. The Senate will resume legislative session. The Majority Leader.
Madam President, I move to proceed to calendar number 547, S5271.
The Clerk will report.
Motion to proceed to calendar number 547, S5271, a bill to amend the Help America Vote Act of 2002 to require voters to provide photo identification.
Madam President, I send a cloture motion to the desk.
The Clerk will report the motion.
Cloture motion, we the undersigned senators, in accordance with the provisions of Rule 22 of the Standing Rules of the Senate, do hereby move to bring to a close debate on the motion to proceed to calendar number 547, S5271, a bill to amend the Help America Vote Act of 2002 to require voters to provide photo identification, signed by 17 senators.
Madam President, I ask consent to reading the names be waived.
Without objection.
Madam President.
The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
Madam President, using a photo ID to vote is common sense. It's an issue Americans broadly support. So tonight, this early morning, I'm offering a clean, simple, straightforward bill to require a photo ID to vote in America. Voters can use a driver's license, a state-issued ID, passport, military or veterans ID, or tribal ID. No additional restrictions, no tricks, no games, no prohibitions on absentee voting. 36 states require some form of voter ID. Photo ID laws have been tested in elections across this country and they work. So tonight, I'm asking my colleagues to answer one simple question. Should you have to prove who you are when you vote? Americans think we should, and tonight we'll find out if their senators agree. I urge my colleagues to vote yes on this bill to establish a nationwide photo ID standards and give Americans better run, honest, and fair elections. Madam President, I yield the floor.
clerk will report the motion to invoke cloture. The gentleman from California.
Thank you, Madam President. Colleagues, here we are after months and months of continuing to debate this bill, which still hasn't passed. We should be debating how to bring costs down for working families across the country. I'd love to hear from my colleagues how we're going to get out of this war in Iran, but instead, here's this measure again, which is not a simple voter ID bill. As written, it is stricter than most voter ID bills in states that already have a voter ID law in place. But this goes even further, requiring voters to include a copy of their ID when they vote by mail. As you all know, tens of millions of Americans vote by mail. This bill would do away with secret ballots as we know it. So, colleagues, I urge you to vote no on this measure.
The clerk will report the motion to invoke cloture.
Cloture motion, we the undersigned senators, in accordance with the provisions of Rule 22 of the Standing Rules of the Senate, do hereby move to bring to a close debate on the motion to proceed to calendar number 547, S5271, a bill to amend the Help America Vote Act of 2002 to require voters to provide photo identification, signed by 17 senators.
Under the previous order, the mandatory quorum call under Rule 22 has been waived. The question is it the sense of the Senate that debate on the motion to proceed to S5271, a bill to amend the Help America Vote Act of 2002, to require voters to provide photo identification, shall be brought to a close? The yeas and nays are mandatory under the rule. The clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Elsa Brooks. Mr. Armstrong. Ms. Baldwin. Mr. Banks. Mr. Brasso. Mr. Bennett. Mrs. Blackburn. Mr. Blumenthal. Ms. Blunt Rochester. Mr. Booker. Mr. Bozeman. Mrs. Britt. Mr. Budd. Ms. Cantwell. Mrs. Capito. Mr. Cassidy. Ms. Collins. Mr. Coons. Mr. Cornyn. Ms. Cortez Masto. Mr. Cotton. Mr. Kramer. Mr. Crapo. Mr. Cruz. Mr. Curtis. Mr. Daines. Ms. Duckworth. Mr. Durbin. Ms. Ernst. Mr. Fetterman. Mrs. Fisher. Mr. Gallego. Mrs. Gillibrand. Ms. Graham. Mr. Grassley. Mr. Haggerty. Ms. Hassan. Mr. Hawley. Mr. Heinrich. Mr. Hickenlooper. Ms. Hirono. Mr. Hoven. Mr. Husted. Mrs. Hyde-Smith. Mr. Johnson. Mr. Justice. Mr. Kane. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Kim. Mr. King. Ms. Klobuchar. Mr. Langford. Mr. Lee. Mr. Lujan. Ms. Lummis. Mr. Markey. Mr. Marshall. Mr. McConnell. Mr. McCormick. Mr. Merkley. Mrs. Moody. Mr. Moran. Mr. Moreno. Ms. Murkowski. Mr. Murphy. Mrs. Murray. Mr. Ossoff. Mr. Padilla. Mr. Paul. Mr. Peters. Mr. Reed. Mr. Ricketts. Mr. Risch. Ms. Rosen. Mr. Rounds. Mr. Sanders. Mr. Schatz. Mr. Schiff. Mr. Schmidt. Mr. Schumer. Mr. Scott of Florida. Mr. Scott of South Carolina. Mrs. Shaheen. Mr. Sheehy. Ms. Slotkin. Ms. Smith. Mr. Sullivan. Mr. Thune. Mr. Tillis. Mr. Tuberville. Mr. Van Hollen. Mr. Warner. Mr. Warnock. Ms. Warren. Mr. Welch. Mr. Whitehouse. Mr. Wicker. Mr. Wyden. Mr. Young. Senators voting in the affirmative: Armstrong, Banks, Barrasso, Blackburn, Bozeman, Britt, Budd, Capito, Cassidy, Collins, Cornyn, Cotton, Kramer, Crapo, Cruz, Curtis, Daines, Ernst, Fisher, Graham, Grassley, Haggerty, Hawley, Hoven, Husted, Hyde-Smith, Johnson, Justice, Kennedy, Lankford, Lee, Lummis, Marshall, McCormick, Moody, Moran, Moreno, Murkowski, Paul, Ricketts, Risch, Rounds, Schmidt, Scott of Florida, Scott of South Carolina, Sheehy, Sullivan, Thune, Tillis, Tuberville, Wicker, and Young. Senators voting in the negative: also Brooks, Baldwin, Bennett, Blumenthal, Blunt Rochester, Booker, Cantwell, Coons, Cortez Masto, Duckworth, Durbin, Fetterman, Gallego, Gillibrand, Hassan, Heinrich, Hickenlooper, Hirono, Kane, Kelly, Kim, King, Klobuchar, Lujan, Markey, Merkley, Murray, Ossoff, Padilla, Peters, Reed, Rosen, Sanders, Schatz, Schiff, Schumer, Shaheen, Slotkin, Smith, Van Hollen, Warner, Warnock, Warren, and Wyden. Mr. Murphy, no. Mr. Whitehouse, no.
On this vote, the yeas are 52, the nays are 46. 3/5 of the Senate duly chosen and sworn, not having voted in the affirmative, the motion is not agreed to. The Majority Leader.
Madam President, I move to adjourn pursuant to the previous order.
The questions on the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. No. The ayes have it. The motion's agreed to. The Majority Leader.
Madam President, I move to proceed to executive session to consider calendar number 902.
The questions on the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The clerk will report the nomination.
Nomination, the Judiciary, Matthew R. Byrne of Ohio to be United States District Judge for the Southern District of Ohio.
Madam President, I send a cloture motion to the desk.
The clerk will report.
Cloture motion, we the undersigned senators, in accordance with the provisions of Rule 22 of the Standing Rules of the Senate, do hereby move to bring to a close debate on the nomination of Matthew R. Byrne of Ohio to be United States District Judge for the Southern District of Ohio, signed by 17 senators as follows.
Madam President, I ask consent to read the names be waived,
Without objection.
and I ask unanimous consent that the Senate resume legislative session.
Without objection.
Madam President, I move to proceed to calendar number 423, H.R. 3633.
The clerk will report.
Motion to proceed to calendar number 423, H.R. 3633, an act to provide for a system of regulation of the offer and sale of digital commodities by the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and so forth, and for other purposes.
Madam President, I send a cloture motion to the desk.
The clerk will report.
Cloture motion, we the undersigned senators, in accordance with the provisions of Rule 22 of the Standing Rules of the Senate, do hereby move to bring to a close debate on the motion to proceed to calendar number 423, H.R. 3633, an act to provide for a system of regulation of the offer and sale of digital commodities by the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and so forth, and for other purposes, signed by 17 senators as follows.
Madam President, I ask consent to read the names be waived.
Without objection.
And I ask unanimous consent that, withstanding Rule 22 at a time to be determined by the Majority Leader in concurrence with the Democratic Leader, no later than Friday, October the 2nd, H. Con Res. 89 be discharged from the Committee on Foreign Relations and the Senate proceed to its consideration. Further, that there be 6 hours for debate only, with the time equally divided between the leaders or the designees on the concurrent resolution. The following the use or yielding back of that time, the Senate vote on adoption of the concurrent resolution.
Without objection.
Madam President, I ask unanimous consent that all members of the Republican Conference be authorized to sign duly enrolled bills or joint resolutions from August 7th through September the 14th.
Without objection.
Madam President, I ask unanimous consent that, notwithstanding the upcoming adjournment of the Senate, the President of the Senate, the President pro tem, and the majority-minority leaders be authorized to make appointments to commissions, committees, boards, conferences, or interparliamentary conferences authorized by law, by concurrent action of the two houses, or by order of the Senate.
Without objection.
Madam President, I ask unanimous consent that when the Senate adjourns on Thursday, September the 10th, it stand adjourned until 3 p.m. on Monday, September the 14th, and following the prayer and pledge, the journal proceedings be approved to date, the morning hour be deemed expired, the time for the two leaders be reserved for the use later in the day, and the Senate be in a period of morning business with senators permitted to speak therein for up to 10 minutes each. Further, at 5:30 p.m., the cloture motion with respect to the Byrne nomination ripen. Finally, notwithstanding Rule 22, the cloture motion with respect to the motion to proceed to calendar number 423, H.R. 3633, ripen on Tuesday, September 15th at 2:15 p.m.
Without objection.
Madam President, if there's no further business to come before the Senate, I ask that it stand adjourned under the previous order.
The Senate stands adjourned till 10 a.m. on Monday.